So tell us
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
The Omicron variant and the latest wave have an impact on not only consumer trends, but your business. And do you expect the booster shots to make a difference?
Yeah, booster shot will make a huge difference. I think it's been accelerated by the huge leadership of the current Prime Minister Kishida. And I'm hopeful that our business will come back in Japan around perhaps mid-February to end of February, because we expect that a peak time will come around that time. And then the government will shift toward the reinvigoration of consumer. That will help us. And we had seen the huge comeback of the business in December when the things were toward the normalization. So I believe the business will come back, and I'm very much hopeful. But we have to wait maybe a month or so to see huge comeback. And based on the pent-up demand, which will come from the huge savings at the household level, that accumulates already to around $300 billion. And because of the huge accumulation during the COVID time, that helps us a lot.
Right. Here in the U.S., we have seen the pandemic, even before Omicron, the different variants cause labor shortages. A lot of the leverage has really fallen for U.S. workers. Are you seeing anything similar happen in Japan as you have these Shunto wage negotiations happening during springtime?
It is happening, but not the level of the U.S. We need more truck drivers. We need workers and employees for restaurant business, for example. So currently, the wage hike is happening to those segments. And I believe many companies in Japan will raise the wages, and especially bonuses around the time of June and July. We'll see the wage hike. And that will be under negotiation between business and labor unions.
Are you seeing some of that pressure on your company as well?
Yeah, well, it is a big pressure from the government, but I like to motivate our workers and the people, employees, because they did a great job during the COVID time, which was a huge challenge for employees. So we will raise the wages for our employees.
So you're going to raise wages for your employees. When will that happen, and by how much?
Well, I can't tell you because we have labor unions as well. But it's more than the government is asking for, but still, we can't say at this moment. But around the, we are not talking about the base up, but revenue, the annual revenue base.
Mm-hmm. So wage growth, obviously a major issue confronting the Japanese economy. You've been advising a number of administrations on macroeconomic matters over the years. What change do you feel Japan needs most urgently?
Mobility of labor, because we see growth segments like DX and healthcare. Those segments need good talent. At this moment, Japan's immobility of labor is a huge issue. But the government and the private sector will work together to provide the recurrent education, training programs for those who are willing to change jobs. I think this year will be a year of job mobility.
Do you think some of those issues are being considered by Prime Minister Kishida and his new capitalism move that, of course, focuses on people as well?
Definitely. The Prime Minister thinks more of the people to be more paid and more offered jobs. And I think his new idea is very much welcomed by business community. And Japanese corporations are now thinking to pick up the, lots of things for employees. And now, big corporations like us started to allow the sub-businesses to for the sake of our employees to learn something different from different businesses outside of our company.
Niinami-san, if we're talking about potential wage increases, we're also talking about inflationary pressures, not only a little bit more in Japan, much more around the world. How are you offsetting those costs at Suntory?
That's a good question. Still, there's a sticking trauma for manufacturers like us in Japan, not to pass on to consumers. But in February, we'll see price hikes from businesses to consumers. So generally speaking, the consumers will be able to accept to some extent the price hikes. And we have to consider, but in the beverages industry, we have to be more considerate to raise prices. So we have to see what's going to happen in February. But we'll consider. But I can't tell now we will raise prices because still, beverage industry has so many competitors in Japan.
Yeah, what sort of pressures are you also facing from the current supply chain difficulties and also a weakening yen as well?
That's right. First of all, and foremost is the crude oil price, which affects lots of commodity prices and things. We have to think about the energy costs, everything. And China is still shut down, and Southeast Asia is the center of the supply chain. So they are still, under the huge, challenge of COVID. So that will lingering still. So we are so worried about supply chain issue challenge, but it should be toward the peak time of the supply chain issue. So toward the probably in the second half, we'll see the easing of supply chain. But still, oil price will be still huge issue for us. So our government and our business in Japan will be under the challenge of the price hike and what to do with the interest rate controlled by the Bank of Japan. And should we start the tapering or whatsoever? But we have to start to talk about that.
Another one of your key inputs in the beverage industry, of course, is water. And I know that water sustainability and long-term use is something that concerns you. How do you propose to manage this going forward?
Right. We are so worried about the fact that in 2050, 40% of the world population will suffer from water shortages. So we started two initiatives. One, replenishment of water. We started the initiative to replenish the water as much as we use in the world. Supporting forests in Japan, 21 forests, to improve the soil quality so that we can create the ecosystem of generating natural water. And that system is now under operation in many countries, US, China, Southeast Asia, and Europe. And the second initiative is to educate the children for them to understand the importance of natural water. And we've been operating in Southeast Asia, including Japan and China. And we taught already 290,000 children. And they are teaching their parents and their regions. So we will be expanding this initiative to other countries. Overall, we like to awaken the world, the importance of natural water. And that will be a huge natural blessing. And we want to be a spearhead to awaken the world together with the reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions.
You're talking about spearheading these efforts. What's the challenge when you have, say, Western countries leading the way when it comes to regulations and sustainability and not Asian countries?
Right. I believe the Asian countries have different climate, different situation of sustainability. For example, we can't resolve our original issues in Asia only by bringing the conventional renewables like solar panel, like water, wind power. We need more technology like hydrogen, and we have to keep thermal, electricity generation plants for the time being. Let's say 2030 or 35.
Right.
We need a graduation. So, the current rulemaking by the West is not fitable to the Asian situation, like rainy season and like geography. So that means we have to have the own idea. That's why we set up the Sustainability Leaders Council together with the University Group led by Jan Brema, because we
will be following those developments. But before we let you go, we love having you on Bloomberg TV, but we can't let you go before asking about succession. Will you continue in the CEO role, and could the succession go to the founding family? Just quickly, if you can.
I'll be CEO. For sure.
Okay.
Surprising question.
Okay, we can take that as it may, but you'll continue to be CEO for the time being. Thank you so much. Niinami-san, Takeshi of Suntory Holdings, President and CEO.